Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of the New York International Auto Show in New York City. I'm Michael Artsis. You're watching BeTerrific, an official media partner of the New York International Auto Show. You're looking at the NSX GT3. This is an unbelievable vehicle. It's close to my heart. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the new MDX. We're going to start now with the new MDX. The new MDX is really a special vehicle. It's one of the best-selling SUVs ever. It's the best-selling three-row SUV, right?
Within the luxury world.
Within the luxury world, and it's been redone, and there it is in all its glory. I like that color. I like the way it looks. It's got really stunning lines, and Acura always has great vehicles and a great value proposition.
That's right.
They're well made. They run well. They're easy to maintain. They're efficient, and they don't cost a lot to maintain.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me about the new MDX.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Acura's got a lot of history of having that kind of that what we call internally DQR, dependability, quality, reliability. One of the things that we wanted to add to the MDX is a lot more emotional appeal. And so the one that we brought out today, a little bit, just a couple hours ago at the show, is focused on that. So it's got a new grille for us. It's a much more bold, kind of noticeable grille, a new shape that we call the Diamond Pentagon, which we first showed on a show car in Detroit. This is the first vehicle in our lineup to get it, but it'll go on to all the other vehicles as well. Basically, new styling throughout, kind of focused on more sporty, more premium. We brought back real big, obvious exhaust pipes on the back, which were missing for a couple years. And so those are some real exciting styling changes to the car to add more emotion. And then the big change for us this year is we've added a new hybrid model. But it's not just, it's not meant to be a fuel miser hybrid, but it's a sport hybrid. And so it adds about 35 horsepower, adds about 7 miles per gallon, and some really amazing super handling all-wheel drive technology to make it drive in a pretty unique way.
I really like that because I like the idea of getting better gas mileage, and I like the idea of adding horsepower. I'm a motorhead, right? I'm a car guy. I also like the idea of having an SUV that handles well, that can fit the family, fit a lot of cargo. We just saw a shot of the cargo area, and now we're looking at the interior. Again, all well done, all nice, but the cargo is beefy. It's nice. It's got a lot of cargo space, and that's really important. I noticed immediately the grille. I didn't love the grille on the older MDX. I was like, fine, it's a good car. If that's the car you want to get or I want to get, then that's great. But it's not. I would never be in love with it. This is something that I look at and I go, wow, that's stunning. It's really great. So, the price point for this car starts at about $49,000.
No, actually, MDX starts right around 42, 43 right now. Yeah, and we'll, obviously we haven't priced the new one yet, but it's going to be right in that same neighborhood.
Very nice.
It starts there, tops out around 60.
And you guys have tons of features. You've got heated seats and all sorts of stuff, and a lot of great safety features.
Yeah, so one of the big things for us this year as well, last year we introduced a suite of features on the MDX called Acura Watch. And so that's basically, a lot of people call it semi-autonomous driving, so it can keep you in your lane, change the speed of the car, and then also comes with all the emergency braking kind of features like that. This year we're making it 100% standard. So basically, from the lowest price MDX you can get, just above 40,000 all the way up to the very top one. Same exact suite of features, both for safety and to help you drive your car. So,
I love it.
Yeah,
that's really awesome. Really great. And then I imagine that CarPlay from Apple and Android Auto work with the car.
Those won't come in this model of MDX. Yeah, so those will come in a future one.
And also, it seems like the all-wheel drive system you guys have is just really a phenomenal, well-done all-wheel drive system. You guys have been doing it for a long time at this point, almost 20 years with all-wheel drive. And I think that it's just different than the way most companies do it.
Yeah. No, you're right. So our all-wheel drive system is called super handling. Maybe a little bit of a funny name for it, but it really does give you super handling. And what it does is it allows you to control the power, exactly how much power goes to each of the wheels. And so by doing that, it can make your car turn much more precisely, much more quickly. A lot like if you can imagine, a rowboat where you're rowing one way on one side and rowing the opposite way on the other side, and the ability to turn so quickly and so precisely. It's that same sort of idea. And then with the new hybrid, it actually takes that same idea to a whole nother level, because now you've actually got two separate electric motors on the rear of the car that are completely in control of exactly how much power or even braking is on each wheel at each time. So it's an amazing experience.
That's really a revolutionary way of doing electric vehicles. I
Yeah.
think you guys pioneered that a few years ago, and I was surprised that nobody had thought of it before, and then nobody, and you did it in a concept, I think, and then nobody's done it since. You're the first to put that into practice.
No, I mean, it's still true. I mean, honestly, it's incredibly complex. It takes, tons and tons of engineers, tons and tons of time to make 3 different electric motors work together with a gas motor. It's probably why, but I mean, it's an amazing system, and it's cool now because basically the same system is on the NSX, our 200 mile an hour supercar, the MDX, our best SUV, and the RRLX, our top-of-the-line sedan, and it's works a little bit differently, has slightly different benefits, but it's the same idea.
How much more is the hybrid than the regular MDX?
We haven't announced pricing yet, but it's not going to be a lot more.
Well, okay, so that's what I was asking.
Yeah, no, it'll be close. It'll be very close. Yeah, it'll be an easy step up.
Excellent. I like it. Now, you talk about the NSX.
Yeah.
That's, I've got a sweet spot in my heart for the NSX. There's the GT3 model. We can talk a little bit about that, but the production model, when is that out? Is that
it's coming out in just a few weeks.
Right, a few weeks. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Have you gotten a chance to drive this car yet?
I have. I've driven it 3 different times, kind of throughout its development.
What is it like?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. And so it actually ties in what I was just talking about. Every supercar is fast.
Sure.
That's just sort of a cost of entry. Every supercar looks great, right? Like so those are the minimum. But by having 2 electric motors on the front wheels of the car, it adds a steering feel and a precision to the car that's. I mean, you have to experience it. It's like nothing else. And so you can go really deep into a corner, and as soon as you've scrubbed off enough speed, instantly get back on the gas as hard as you want, and it will just follow a perfect line around the corner, whereas another car is going to be sliding all over the place and out of control.
With those electric motors, I imagine that, so the NSX, I had an NSX.
Yeah.
I had a 1991 NSX, silver, black interior. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Love that car. And there were a couple things I really loved about it. Number one, a short throw gearbox. It was amazing. I think this is not available.
Only a dual
manual.
clutch transmission.
Right. Okay, so that's disappointing, but I'm still excited about the car. Now, and I don't drive stick anymore because I live in this area where you drive stick, it's annoying. You sit in traffic, so I can appreciate that. But one of the other things I really liked was how well the car handled.
Yep.
It really, people would always say it handled like it was on rails.
Yeah.
I imagine, and the last part that I loved about the car, besides the sound and how it looked, was that the car had an amazing amount of torque and almost had always on, ready to go. Like any gear you were in, the full spectrum, it had a high RPM limit, and the full spectrum, it had power.
Right.
And so I imagine with the electric motors on those front wheels, that as you're coming through the turn, when you get on that gas, you have that power immediately, and you have a lot of torque in this car as well.
Yep. No, it's exactly right. I mean, and so if you liked it in your old one, you will love it in the new one, because both those things, the on the rails kind of feeling and the acceleration, are multiplied, by 100. I mean, it's crazy how, so the engine is a turbo engine. It's got the electric motor. So the turbo engines, works well if they have a little time to spool up. You can put big turbos on it, as long as you've got something to give you that instant torque, which is what the electric motors give you. And the adjective I like to use is relentless. I mean, it really just feels like it just goes and goes and goes. And it's basically, how much can you handle as a driver before you get tired? If the car doesn't get tired, the car doesn't get
165 was the highest I've taken it.
Yeah.
The old one. So I don't know, maybe 200 now.
Oh, I think it'd be pretty close to there.
Yeah. And the 0 to 60 back then was like high fours.
Right.
But it felt like it was the fastest thing in the world.
Right.
Now we're talking like sub 3, right? Or just,
I mean, in that neighborhood. Yeah. We haven't released the
it's got to be
time,
like 3.2, 2.8 to 3.2, something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. The cockpit used to be so unbelievable inside. It wrapped around the driver like a cocoon. It was nice. It was like a comfy pair of shoes. That's a weird way to describe it, but it's exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
And great visibility in the car.
Right.
So I imagine that some of these things translate over.
I'm glad you brought that up. That actually was one of the big focuses of the car, and it's it's funny because it's not the obvious stuff is the power, the styling, right? But something like the way the cockpit is and the way the visibility is, we put so much effort into that. There's some really cool technology that maybe most customers might appreciate the benefit, but they won't really know about it. But like, for instance, the A-pillars on this car are this crazy special steel that we bring in from Japan that gets stretched and bent in this weird way that basically the actual structure of it is about the size of a quarter. I mean, like,
Sure.
literally the size of a quarter, hollow tube, but it's strong enough to withstand basically any kind of crash test or any kind of force that it'll ever need to do. And because of that, you sit in the car and you can see out, whereas a lot of other supercars are fast, but you feel like you're sort of swallowed up by it. You can't see anything. You feel intimidated.
Sure.
The whole idea is to basically eliminate the car from the driving experience so that it's just you and the car and the road and not things getting in your way, which I think is probably what you experienced in your car.
It was phenomenal. I don't think I've ever loved a car as much as I love that car. And I've driven a lot, and I love all cars, but that car has a special place in my heart. I remember this is coming back to me now. The windshield was raked in a certain angle for aerodynamics, but it worked well where it could rain, be pouring or drizzling, and you wouldn't necessarily even need to put the wipers on because the beads of water would just rush off the car.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to drive. It was, it really is what Acura is all about. It was quality. It didn't cost a lot to service and maintain other than tires you ran through every 4,000 miles. Especially if you burned them up like me. And it just was reliable. You got in the car and drove it. I personally put 80,000 miles on the car.
Yeah.
No,
it's something that, a lot of people that have supercars, I mean, I've known people with Ferraris, and they drop some serious money, whenever there's anything that goes wrong with the car. And
$2,500 for an oil change.
Sure, exactly. And I was just at an event that we had with some of the engineers, and the guy who designed the engine was there. And so some people were asking, well, what's the maintenance interval? And he said, it's just like an MDX. And it is just like an MDX. So you drive it, and then, every, 6,000, 7,000 miles, you go and get an oil change, and it's back on the road, and it's going to cost you,
So what about racing? You guys are getting into racing with the GT3 version. That's what we saw before. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's a big day for us. We've hinted at racing before with this NSX. Today we show a real race car.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It
we
is
saw before.
Awesome. Hopefully you get a chance to spend a little time looking at it. I mean, it's very beautiful. It takes the awesome design of the NSX and just takes it to another level. So it's wider and lower, and everything is ultra lightweight carbon fiber. So it's going to be raced in North American GT3 class, starting basically next year. And we've worked with some awesome partners, our own partners within our own racing company, Acura Motorsports, and it is going to be cool.
Wow, it's really, really awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. I think that the new NSX is something you have to see. It photographs nicely, but when you actually see it, it's a lot more beautiful. It turns heads for sure. I will tell you, the funny part is when I used to have the NSX, everybody thought it was a Ferrari. They didn't know what it was. And I would always be like, no, it's an Acura. What? Acura makes a car like this? Hopefully this time with the new NSX, everybody knows it's an Acura and that Acura has a supercar. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think the MDX is awesome. You guys are doing some really, really great stuff, and I love it.
Yeah. No, thank you. And we're trying really hard. Like, obviously, having that same sport hybrid system with the 3 electric motors, having that be in the NSX, the MDX, and the RLX, that kind of connection between the technology is something we're trying to do. And then the styling of the NSX. If you like the NSX, you should like the rest of our lineups as they get more and more. You see those cues in it. You see the look and the feel and the materials of the NSX.
I could talk all day about the NSX with you. I'd ask you wheel size, and I'd ask you about how much horsepower is it? I have to
573. So the gas motor is 500, and the electric motor's added another 73. But totally, honestly, it feels like a lot more than that because the torque is so strong from those electric motors and so consistent across the board that it has the feeling of actually even more powerful engine than that.
Well, I mean, you don't need more, though. I mean,
no,
that's
no, you don't, but it's nice to have.
Do we have a 0 to 60? Oh, the 0 to 60 time is like, we're going to find out soon, but it's 2.8 to something like that. 3 something. And then what about the wheels? I had so the car came with 16s and 17s. I had 17s and 18s, BBS RS2s. I put on the car. And then what
so actually, I mean, the very first NSXs even came with 15s on the front.
Did it?
Yeah.
Really?
But
was it 15s and 16s, and then I put 17s and 18s?
Yeah.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, which a lot of people do is very popular. So this one is 19s and 20s.
19s and 20s. Nice.
So they're giant. And
I like the smaller wheels in front. Not a lot of car companies do that, and I really like that.
Yeah, you're right. But it gives it a cool look, and it works really well for the weight and the performance, and so
a lot of people like the car for drifting too, the old one. Are they going to, I mean, this has got all-wheel drive, right? Are they going to be able to drift it?
Yeah, so it's funny. I would have thought not. I mean, I would have thought with all that grip and everything, but it's actually got a cool system that
you can change the
differential.
differential.
You can change the modes. Yeah, so there's actually even a mode called the quiet mode where it uses a lot more electric and it sounds very quiet. Like basically, if you're driving out from your neighborhood on a Saturday morning and you don't want to bother people and be the jerk who wakes everyone up. But then there's everything all the way up to a full-on track mode, which I mean it's designed for the track. Obviously, you could drive it on the street. In that mode, it will slide and let you drift and let you really have some fun and still be safe. But it'll let you play with it.
Awesome. Can I just take a moment to thank Acura for Comedians in Cars with Coffee? Drinking coffee.
Absolutely.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Jerry's great.
Yeah.
You guys do some fun stuff. The White House one with Obama was great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Steve Martin was great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all great.
Yeah.
I love the product. I love how you've done it. It's so smart with the product placement thing. It's a goof.
Yeah.
You make it a goof. And that guy who does the commercials, I sell cars, you sell you.
Yes.
I mean, it's just great.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a lot of fun with them, and it's been cool because, basically all those ideas are kind of ones that Jerry comes up with.
That's pretty cool.
And that's his thing.
I've always wondered that.
Yeah,
I mean, always said,
there's
come
a mix,
on.
But like that whole idea of the I sell cars, you sell you. He came up with that. I was actually working in our advertising group at the time. He was there at the shoot and basically directing it. I mean, it's awesome.
That's got to be
he's
amazing.
An amazing partner.
I got to tell you, I got to commend Acura for seeing the vision because there are so many car manufacturers that say, I'm not going to show a 1965 Corvette. We're Acura.
Yep.
I'm not going to show somebody else's car, a Ferrari, this or that, an old Mercedes. How would I do that? And then, but you guys get it, and you're like, you know what? We're going to put an ad at the front, an ad at the end, like something funny in the middle, and the rest, let them have fun. And because it's great for people who don't know cars, get to learn about cars. For people who do know cars and are car guys, you get all sorts of great information, and you get to see cars you haven't seen, and you get to see how they drive. We had a concept called Garage Queens, where we took old cars that are garage queens that never see the road, beautifully restored, take them out on the road. And it's the same kind of thing because then we can show it to people. And so to me, that you guys are doing that and you said, all right, we'll do it. I love it. And the fact that you just said, like you give Jerry, sure, what's your idea? And he comes in and he does it and you let him do it. I mean, that's phenomenal.
No, I mean, honestly, there's some people internally who struggle with that, right? It's like, how can you put an Acura in the same one that, like, that's some other brand, but then the next thing you know, you've got President Obama and a Corvette,
right?
And it's like it's amazing, right? And ultimately for us, I mean, we love cars, right? That's why we have a brand like Acura. That's why we would bother to have this performance-oriented brand. Sure. And so we love our cars and we love lots of people's cars,
right?
And so we're a company of enthusiasts, so we totally appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully he does a whole episode with the new NSX. I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous that he gets to be in those commercials, like
he's getting
with him and Jay Leno. I know. I'm so like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
As if his life isn't good enough.
I know. It's not too bad. I think those guys are doing okay. Yeah.
You have to get like the first NSX. Can't you have like the 15?
Right?
The first one?
Well.
Yeah. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah, he's a great
and you guys are great. Thank you.
Thank
you so much for
much
coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with a whole lot more. In the meantime, check out the new NSX. Forget about what we've got to play. Just come back in about 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll have a whole lot more content for you here on BeTerrific, your live continuing coverage of the New York International Auto Show in 2016 from an official media partner, BeTerrific, on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artsis. You're the Terrific. Stay with us.